Let's call the work session for the November 29th school board meeting to order. First order of business tonight will be the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Anybody have anything on the agenda we need to talk about before we get to the consent agenda? Okay, on the consent agenda, anybody have anything on that?
Mr. Chairman, I do.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm going to request that we remove from the consent agenda tonight the facilities use section, and ask that we either, well, preference would be to table and put it on the regular agenda, not the consent agenda, for our board meeting, full board meeting Thursday night.
Okay. Anything else?
Mr. Chairman, if I can, maybe we can, on the TSBA policy, well, mic's not on. Can, being new, can they help me? Because I know we have fees that we pay for being members of the TSBA. What exactly does this contract give us? Because I know Ms. Bush is one of our attorneys, and then we have Mr. Reed. So do they work in conjunction with the TSBA?
Okay.
I can speak to that. TSBA has a policy division within their ranks, and they have two attorneys that work on policy revisions and suggest policies to the board, and we use their policies. We frame those policies and make them fit to our district. A lot of times they do need some adjustments to those, and this contract is for those services.
Okay. And are you the liaison? Do those policies that need to be changed usually go through you?
Yes, Mr. Reed and I work in conjunction with those to prepare for the policy committee meetings that we have. We've had one so far, and then I think we're looking at doing the next policy committee meeting in January.
So do we know, I know that there are fees with the TSBA. Is that something that we can get at some point so we know exactly how much money we're giving them a year?
How much money we spend with TSBA a year?
It is actually on their maintenance agreement that's at the back of the consent agenda, their contract.
Right?
Let's see. Well, I've got 18 of 72, but I'm looking, I guess, at the whole ball of wax, so to speak. 17, it's got their fee and fee payment schedule.
Right, this is $24,000 for the next 3 years, so it's $8,000 a year, but.
Yeah, for this piece of it.
Oh, so
Right,
this is just
correct.
one piece.
This is
Correct.
just one piece of it. And Ms. Bush, you were out at one of the schools or something. We do have this, they did let us know back in the spring, and we do have this higher amount in the budget for this piece under the contract services law.
So, Ms. Sharp, if I may, so just for my clarification and to make sure I'm understanding correctly, what's in this consent agenda, the $8,000 each year, it looks like, is strictly for their policy advice and guidance. None of the other components that we participate or engage with TSBA on. Not the legislation, not the meetings. Okay, thank you.
And I will say, and add on to that, they do webinars throughout the year as well. Jennifer performs webinars. She did one collaborative conferencing this year, and then there was another one on policy guidance. Well, the update, it's a little bit like the event we went to in the summer, and they'll go through what policies are going to be needing to be changed, so you have that focus throughout the next year.
I would like to just see at some point how much we do spend with them and what services that we get from them, especially coming in from, as a new board member, because a lot of these things come in this month, and then in 6 more months, there'll be some more money. So just to be able to wrap my head around exactly what they do for us and how much we pay for them would be
Okay.
helpful. Thank you.
Mr. Sandra, do you think you'll be able to, you could get those numbers pulled together for us by Thursday, perhaps? That's tomorrow. Okay. Thanks.
Do you want to leave that on the consent agenda or take it off?
Well, I think there is a deadline for this. Isn't there a deadline?
Ma'am.
Isn't there a deadline?
It starts December 1st.
Which is Friday, Saturday.
I would
This
imagine
is
they'll still take our
Saturday.
money.
We can adjust that if needed, yes.
Okay. That work?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else on the consent agenda? All right. We'll move right along here.
Mr. Estes,
Yes.
in March of 2018, we paid $9,577, which is our membership fee.
Okay.
Then last year, the number for the policy was 4,000. They did double it and
Oh.
notify us in time to get that in the budget.
So you said 9,000?
9,577.
So total $13,000.
Plus, and this $4,000 increase now.
Plus our conventions that we attend.
Right, then any conventions you go to also. But would you like me to try to pull those numbers together and
We're
convention?
close to $19,000 just in the dues and services that we're paying them, if I'm reading this correctly, for this coming year. Okay.
Would you like me to get together on conference information tomorrow? I'd do that tomorrow. It's a little,
The additional that we expend, yeah, I think it would be nice, and
I
especially,
would like
again,
to
for the
have
benefit of our new board members, absolutely, to be able to see the full scope of the cost that we're spending with them.
Okay. Well, let's see. We don't have any visitors tonight, I don't think. Spotlight on education tomorrow night. Robotics team. And let's recognition Siegel. Is that tonight? Tomorrow night, okay. All right, we're ready for our old business then. 5-year building plan.
All right, 5-year building program, I think it's there in front of you. You can see that we've moved the 84096 Corridor Middle School up top, followed by the Rock Springs Elementary Addition, followed by the Rockvale Elementary Addition. Last night, we were at the Health and Ed, and one of the numbers we were sharing with them was our current enrollment, K-12 and pre-K through 12. K-12, we currently sit from this time last year, 1,134 students more than we had this time last year, with the majority of that, 530-something in the middle school increase. Okay, and then followed by the 21-22, you can see that there we have the elementary school at the south side of Murfreesboro, which would impact Christiana Elementary School, Barfield Elementary School, and Rockvale Elementary School, followed by the middle school at 231 North, followed by Laverne Middle Addition, followed by Royal Waldron Addition. And in the 22-23, we have the 84096 Corridor Elementary School, middle school on the south end of Murfreesboro. And on the 23-24 elementary school for anticipated growth. and on the 24-25 high school 840-96 corridor or Buchanan. Keep in mind on those, as we look at these middle school numbers, we obviously will see sometime here in the next couple of years another wave of high school growth being the greatest amount, so that may have to be adjusted as we go along.
Okay. Any questions on this?
I want to ask the director if I could, and I meant to, or I wanted to attend the Health and Ed meeting last night, just was not able to, and unfortunately hadn't had a chance to look at it on TV either. So did they actually look at this plan during last night's meeting?
They did not before you guys vote.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I was just curious.
The only thing they know is that we are going to, if y'all will approve this on Thursday night, they know that we tentatively have a December the 20th meeting scheduled.
Presented then.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, Mr. Lee, are these actual numbers that you've gotten back for the Laverne and Smyrna concessions?
I did go back after our last meeting and check all of our budget numbers, and we're still good at this number.
Okay, thank you.
If, Mr. Spurlock, if we approve this tomorrow night, this might be something that we could use in our zoning meeting, just to show them in advance what we're looking at. It might help us clarify why we're doing what we're doing.
We can do that.
Okay? All right. Any more questions on it? Looks good to me. All right. Let's see. Blackman High School.
Blackman High School turf field. Blackman High School administration is requesting approval to begin construction on the football turf field enhancement project. This request is at no cost to the school board. Per bid 3352, approved on October 31st, 2018, Engineering, Construction, and Finance have reviewed this request and find it acceptable.
Got any questions? We got Dr. Justice here. She can answer any question. Okay, no questions. We'll move right along. Financial matters.
Financial matters. Rutherford County Schools Athletic Training Proposal. With the increasing need for more athletic training coverage throughout the school system and with potential absence from current athletic trainers, it is proposed that a pool of substitute athletic trainers be made available to fill this need. This process will be supervised by Athletic Training Coordinator Brad Rowling. The athletic trainers shall be certified, licensed, and pass a background check. Accessible to work events not currently covered, i.e. middle school football, spring multi-site events, for-profit events, and tournaments. Available to provide substitute coverage for current athletic trainers. They will be paid through RCS and have own malpractice insurance cover them while working for RCS events. Schools will be responsible for providing supplies. The charge to schools, $30 per hour. Pay athletic trainers $20 to $25 an hour.
Question, if I may, please. So when we talk about, when we say charge schools 30 per hour, how is that going to work financially as far as financing the budget for these substitute trainers?
That was a good question. Right. One of the things that I asked Mr. Sandvik about that also that was asked, and he stated that I think we budgeted in more trainers that
Because we wound up with more experienced trainers than budgeted, we did not fill one position. So we have dollars to cover it within that one position. We budgeted based on kind of our starting end of pay, and we actually had experienced trainers come in. So we went on the high side.
one of the things I would request that we get with Mr. Rowling and kind of get a ballpark figure as we go forward looking at that. I think that would kind of let us know what we need to budget in.
And we set the $30 Brad's intent was to make sure we covered any fringe benefit costs that would come with it. With part-time, it wouldn't be much, but,
So substitute athletic trainers are not going to be considered full-time employees
No,
for
ma'am.
purpose of benefit override and that kind of thing? Okay. I didn't think so, just wanted to be sure.
and we had this covered in the past through the contract with NHC and all.
That's right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they was fine from there.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions on that? All right, insurance update? None, no meeting this month, is it? Or in December,
We had the November meeting,
before the last meeting,
right, yeah.
or our last meeting.
Or for your last meeting, no, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Director's update.
And one of the things I want to mention today is we hosted TOS, Superintendent's Associate Leadership Institute. We had approximately 70 people in attendance, directors of schools, a lot of principals, and a lot from our system. I had the opportunity to speak along with 2 other directors of schools that I have a great respect for. And I was very impressed with our principals today. They participated. There were several things that was asked of them. They were on point with everything that they said. And I think that's just representative of the type and quality of principals that we have in our system. And also on December 3rd, I would remind everyone, we have at 6:30 at Stewart's Creek High School, we have a rezoning meeting.
Hey, Ms. Moore, Tennessee legislator.
Mr. Chairman, I will give up my legislative report tomorrow night.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Hodge,
I don't have anything right now. I'll see if I can drum us up something for tomorrow night.
thank you, sir. General discussion, remember tomorrow our meeting's at 4 o'clock. That's all I've got. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to mention this, the board would be interested, I would think, in this. As you're aware, unfortunately, Reeves Sane Drugstore is closing. I think next Tuesday, I believe, was their last day. They have been kind enough for a number of years to keep on display a large number of Central High School memorabilia, including state championship trophies going back to '65 and a lot of other material. All of that is now at Central Magnet School with new trophy cases, and Dr. Ashes has a museum and so forth. Everything went, I believe, except the class pictures, which are, of course, huge, and he just kept them on the wall at Reeves Sane. Well, something's got to happen with those. And so what they, and I think they called, I was calling them, but they had already called. It was already done. I didn't do this. But anyway, they delivered the pictures, as I understand it, today back to Central Magnet. And Dr. Ash told me that they were hanging them as we were on the phone. And I wanted to mention that was I think, a lot of people contributed to this, of course, over the years. But I think that's a tremendous public service to the community for Reeves Sane Drugstore to do. They got absolutely zero out of it, except for and they told me, the honor of putting that stuff out there where people could see it. And so I just wanted to thank them publicly.
Thank you. We're gonna miss that place.
Yes, I agree.
I thought Mr. Jordan was going to offer to bring us all milkshakes one night before they closed.
I hope.
I'll take it.
Well, if that's what it takes, then that's what we'll do.
All right, anybody else? There's nothing else, and we'll be adjourned.